Left to its own devices, your mind will create a very mediocre life. So let's talk about that a little bit. And to talk about it, we really need to have a conversation and understand how the mind works. What's the nature of the mind, really? Now, there was once a great sage called Sage Patanjali, and he wrote the Yoga Sutras. And he says, Chitta Vritti Nirodha. And what does that mean? That means the nature of the mind is to fluctuate. That's partly why, experientially, one day, if you go to the mind will tell you what you're doing is the best idea. And it's definitely going to lead you to where you need to be. But then the day after, your mind starts questioning, shit, did I make the right decision? Is this really what's best for me? Now, the mind, yes, it fluctuates, but it's not only that. The mind's constitution is made up of a load of thoughts at a load of different times that are sprouting from seed roots. And those seed roots are what we would call in our tradition samskaras. This is essentially an impression that was overwhelmingly positive or overwhelmingly negative that you experienced that left a residue in your system. So we would call this nowadays, in the modern world, conditioning, right? So not only does the mind fluctuate, all of its fluctuations are coming from a repository of impressions, negative, positive, etc. So when you're listening to the mind's advice, you should know that, right? It's a pretty untrustworthy, shaky ground of reality. And each of our mental spheres, mental worlds are different. They're unique because we've had different impressions that have left different samskaras, different wounding, different templates inside of us. That's why they say there isn't just one world. There's like 8 billion worlds because we all have a unique perspective of that world. So in a fun, cheeky turn of events, let's just say whenever you're creating your life or believing your mind, and then creating your life out of that belief, you're technically kind of re-traumatizing yourself. But don't take that literally. But really, the substratum of the mind and the context that it's feeding you is only coming from your past wounding, your trauma, and any hurts, really, that you still haven't managed to fully process yet. Add into that, it's also being informed by these positive attachments that you don't want to lose. These are overwhelmingly positive experiences that you had that your mind is now trying to fight to keep or attract or create for you. Now, there's nothing wrong with this, but it does mean that whatever we try to create from the mind can only be limited because it's such a small, confined track based from our past experiences. And some of you are having that realization, well, I don't want to create a limited life from a limited mind anymore. So what can we do? Well, to truly live consciously is to live and create from a deeper place, one that's untouched by the mind, from a place that's truly yours, because it hasn't been imprinted upon by the world. Okay, cool. So how do we do that? How do we access that space that's truly me, that's truly you? Well, the answer is so simple that we could do it right now. Just connect to your stillness, your presence, they call it all over the internet. And if you don't know how to connect to that because you're really stuck in your mind, that's totally cool too. There's a practice on my channel that will help you do it instantaneously. You can go and check that out. It's completely free. The real difficulty is staying in that place and receiving guidance from that place, from within, and then acting in alignment with that which is set forth from within, because sometimes that's hard. Maybe we would call that living from your intuition. And ultimately, at times, to be able to connect to that deeper space and really work out what's for you, you're going to have to overcome and master your mind. Because like I said at the start, if left to its own devices, your mind will create a life of absolute mediocrity. And here's how it does it. You know those moments when you get up in the morning and the mind goes, I can't be bothered today. I'd rather just lift the quilt up, stay in bed, nice and cozy, shove Netflix on, job done. That one. And every time we give in to that one, we're giving into that life of mediocrity. Anywhere inside of yourself that you see a compulsion that's coming from this mediocre life-creating machine that we call the mind, that's where it's happening. And this is where we have to win the small, minute battles day to day. Now, if you start winning those battles, like an example from my life, right? I go to the gym. Sometimes just getting to the gym is one of those battles. Then I get in the sauna, and then there's an ice bath. And while I'm in the sauna, cooking myself like a lobster, my mind is finding ways to try and convince me that the ice bath isn't the right move right now. And I should just rather go into the changing room and have a nice hot shower and then head home and get under the covers and shove Netflix on. Or worse, maybe it wants to take me to the pub. But there aren't just first degree consequences for those actions that we make. There are second and third and fourth degree consequences, aren't there? Let's say you go to the pub instead of the cold bath. That's just shifting the trajectory of your life, isn't it? Just slightly. Those actions accumulate, and it doesn't stop there because there's consequences, there are effects of the alcohol on the system. It puts you in a tamasic state. Next day you have a little bit less drive, a little bit less purpose. You're less clear in your mind. There are impurities in your energy, so your pranayama doesn't go as well, etc., etc. Okay, cool. So we understand this. So the question might become, okay, well, if I do everything right, and I'm constantly go, 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 like that guy on the internet, David Goggins, and I consistently overcome my mind, and I win these battles all of the time because what they bring is fulfillment, does that mean I'm going to attract the life I want? Does that mean I'm going to get all the things I want in life? No, it doesn't. But it does mean that you will attract the next steps for your life. Now, the aim of a life is fulfillment. So those next steps, if you can keep in alignment with them, will bring you fulfillment because it's yours. You see, it's coming from a deeper place. We can call that deeper place peace. We can call it joy. We can call it God. That North Star, that thing from within that's guiding you. You know, I see so many videos on the old YouTubes and TikTok spirituality, and the thumbnail is literally, if you change your vibration to this, you'll instantly have control over reality. If you just manipulate your energy just like this, you'll have instant control over reality. Reality will bow down to your will. No, it won't. Now, over a long enough time frame, and with enough consistent practice of overcoming your mind, your deepest fears, and meeting life truly as it is, might that lead you to where you want to be? Yes, it might. But I can guarantee you it will not happen by some instant manifestation technique. Anything you really want in life is hard, way harder than you think it is at the start. And the path that you need to walk is long, way longer than you think it is at the start. And this is why the yogis created a path, step by step, for your liberation, because they knew these things. So, by mastering your mind, will you get everything that you want in the external world? No. But will you get fulfillment, one choice at a time, one decision at a time, one little bit of mastery over yourself at a time? One little bit more of conscious creation at a time. Will that bring everything you want? No, but what it will bring you is a life of fulfillment. And if you're really honest with yourself, regardless of what your life looks like, don't you want it to be fulfilling? Isn't that actually what you want? And then over a long enough period of time, because you've become one hell of a human being, through all of the trials, the tribulations that life will put you through, in the conscious creation of your life, will you get what you want? Probably. But like I said, it will be a hell of a lot longer and a hell of a lot harder than your mind thinks it will be, especially if you're at the start of this path. Are there things you can do to speed this process up? Yes. Sadhana. Sadhana is just your daily spiritual practice that you need to do so that you can see the deeper aspects of yourself that are bringing you life experiences so that you can work these things out inside of yourself because you're attracting from your unresolved stuff, you see? So we use the sadhana to resolve that stuff faster, not like it's a race. And you can't cut corners. You've got to do the work. But if you want some of that, it's totally free. I didn't want any barriers to entry. So that's now on my channel. Go check it out. And finally, I'll leave you with this. Fulfillment doesn't come because you get all of the things that you want. And you may. And if you do, fantastic. Maybe I wish that for you so that you realize it doesn't bring fulfillment. True fulfillment, the one that we're looking for, the one that's lasting, comes with two things. One, mastering yourself, mastering your mind, mastering your emotions. Because self-mastery and self-discipline is liberation. It is the freedom that we're seeking. There you have the ability to know that whatever happens, it's going to be okay. That's freedom. But then there's one missing piece from that too. And this life of fulfillment can't happen truly, not deeply, without walking with God. Now, I don't mean God in any way that we might project God to be, like a man in the sky. I mean, God is the foundation of creation. It's in all of us, not just as an idea, as a concept, but as a felt presence in our life. And I suppose my only wish for everybody in the world would be that they find that felt connection. And that's why the yogis created a system of yoga for us to do that, for us to remove the limitations from our mind, remove these samskaras that we're creating unconscious lives to begin with. Anyway, hope that helps. That's all I've got for you today. Love ya.